What an amazing energy, holy energy, coming all the way from the Holy Land Zion, bringing greetings from Jerusalem. Shalom, everyone. It's not loud enough. Shalom. Honorable brothers and sisters, I am addressing you today not only as the Public Affairs Director and the spokesperson of the Barzilai Medical Center, but also as a spokesperson of my own family, who in 1770 decided they were an Orthodox Hasidic family who believed in all their Jewish genes, that their home is not in the diaspora, but rather in Eretz Israel, the land of the Jewish people, the land of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the land of the prophets Isaiah and Zechariah, and the land where we all hope the Messiah, our Savior, will come soon. They were an ultra-Orthodox family who felt in their genes that Europe is not their homeland. It's not the homeland of the Jewish people. They believed that they must control their destiny and wandered back to the land of the biblical prophets, Zion. They left behind a very comfortable urban life to renew the Jewish settlement in the Holy Land. They found a bleak, barren land, a demolished land. Remember, it was 1770, a desolate land. Life was not easy. They suffered from poverty, from hunger, from diseases, from earthquakes, from hostile local population, but they did not despair and did not give up. They held on tightly to the land and their mission to renew Jewish life. Their hardship were rewarded. More and more Jews from all around Europe followed their footsteps. Jews who had escaped from pogroms in Russia, England, and France. Sephardic Jews whose ancestors were expelled from Spain, like my husband's family, who decided it was time to leave Europe and return to their homeland. History proved that the ones that returned to Zion were saved. The Holocaust proved them right. I'm telling you the story of my ancestors because my family, my husband, my 4 children, which 2 of them are currently serving the IDF, are living in the city of Ashkelon, the city of the biblical hero Samson, where for the past 8 years we have been struggling to stay alive under a barrage of vicious rocket attack. For the past 8 years, a civilian population of roughly 500,000 men, women, and children have been attacked non-stop and felt the terror of over 8,000 rockets. I cannot believe that there is any other nation in the world that would agree to live not for 8 years, not for 8 months, and not even for 8 days under this kind of rocket attack. For 8 years, the government and the people of Israel were very, very patient and did not react to the unprovoked terror attack against them. However, when Joel was standing there in the middle of the war in January 2009, he was very brave. After those 8 years, maybe too late, Israel decided that enough is enough, and finally took action to defend her land, herself, and its people. It is very sad that during those 8 years of suffering and hardship, the international community and the United Nations did not raise their voice. They were silent, and now, with no shame, they demoralize us by telling us that our reaction is not proportional. The only true friend that supported Israel and justified its action for self-defense was the United States of America. The real and only true friend of Israel. Indeed, here and now, I feel that I'm among real friends, among brothers, among family, among the people that will go out and tell the true story. Now I want to share with you the story of our life during those 8 years. I want to tell you about our terrified children who will for the rest of their life carry the scars of living in a war zone. I want to tell you about our women that fear for themselves, their husbands, their families. I want to tell you about our fighting men who, while fighting the vicious enemy, fear for their families more than themselves. And I know I've got one of them, two of them in the army. You have to imagine 8 years in which thousands upon thousands of adults and children are suffering from post-trauma stress disorder, which 20% of them are turning to be chronically ill. And this has become a it's an unbearable burden on the society. A whole generation who will struggle to live a normal life and grow up to have a promising future. A whole generation that, like me, when I'm walking in the streets of San Diego and I hear the sirens of the police cars and ambulance, I know that I have 15 seconds to run for cover, because that's what we have from the minute the siren starts coming. 50 seconds that you don't know who to schlep with you first. Do your elderly, your children, your pets, yourself. But then after a few seconds I realize I'm in San Diego. Imagine day after day, year after year, a weary expectation and exhaustion takes over. Slowly, the souls become exhausted from seeing the slaughter and the horror that is calmly surrounding it, as though something of this nature could become commonplace, and now has become commonplace, normal. As Anna Ardern said, it became the banality of the evil. We must not reach that point. Reaching this point means surrender to the enemy,